It's something getting on your nerves. I hear you. Me too. And I get to throw my two-bit live on TV. Now, I trawl the papers every day for what I'm going to call Alex triggers. And I'm never let down by how many things I can form a carefully constructed opinion on. And you're getting to know about that by now, aren't you? Even better, you seem to enjoy it. So, without further ado, here it comes. The agenda.
Ta-da.
Ta-da.
We should have a theme.
Yeah, it does need some sort of theme music,
Yeah,
doesn't
running
it?
out of
There you
time.
go,
Go on,
my first. After months of drawn-out negotiations, Rishi Sunak has announced today that there will be no deal on financial services with the EU, hailing it as an opportunity to deregulate, differentiate and use our freedom to become ultra-competitive. Who would have thunk it? I could have told him that years ago and saved him all of the hassle. The City of London has long been the envy of the EU, particularly France, who don't like our Anglo-Saxon ways, and Germany, who are deeply jealous and wanted all our jobs to move to Hamburg. And both have wanted to neuter our banking sector that actually contributes about 1/10 of the country's wealth. First, they wanted to apply a transaction tax, which would have sent big banks running to places like the Cayman Islands. Then they tried to do everything to attempt a max exodus from the centre, away from London to Hamburg. And now they've refused to do a deal over equivalence, which would allow international firms to access EU markets with ease. They've given the UK just 2 areas of equivalence out of a potential 39, compared to 19 in Australia, 20 in Canada, and 23 for the US. Bitter? But none of it's worked. Since January, the City of London has been operating on a no-deal basis anyway, and the sky hasn't fallen in. In fact, the City of London remains a world-leading financial centre and can now establish itself as a non-EU behemoth without the spectre of EU interference, which has a habit of scaring business away. So we can now beat our own path and jump Wall Street to become the global capital of financial services. Good news, I say.
You do.
Yeah.
You've said.
And it seems like Rishi Sunak now agrees. Now, China seems intent on establishing itself as the bad boy on the international stage as President Xi Jinping celebrated 100 years of communism with thinly veiled threats against Chinese enemies that they will end up with, get this, broken heads and bloodshed. Nice. He even bragged about restoring order to Hong Kong, where pro-democracy protesters were shot at with live bullets. Yeah. Make no mistake, China is asserting itself aggressively, from threats to invade Taiwan, bloody battles on the borders of Kashmir, and the imperialist Belt and Road Initiative, which binds developing world countries to Beijing by buying up their debt and controlling strategic infrastructure and resources. Then, of course, there's cyber warfare and, well, did I have to mention it? COVID. Yet, unlike other rogue states, China still commands huge amounts of influence in major international bodies and is the UK's largest import partner. How do we separate ourselves and manage the relationship? It will be a critical question for decades to come.
Yeah, it's overall money talks, though.
Well, here we go. Next one from today. Makers of white goods like fridges, TVs and washing machines have to supply spare parts to enable repairs at home. All too often, it's easier to just buy new than get an appliance fixed, but this means loads of big household machines just end up in landfill. I'm rather cynical about the lifespan of products today. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Many are seemingly built not to last. Well, this is brilliant news and will benefit skilled repair shops and customers, as well as the environment. My big question is, when are mobile phones going to get the same treatment? Most handsets costing hundreds of pounds containing rare earth minerals seem to get gremlins very quickly and are defunct well before their second birthday. It's time we got back into the habit of make, do and mend rather than continue to live in a throwaway society.
Yeah, that'll work.
And going back to the royals, because we love them, don't we? Did you know that the Queen's brolly always matches her outfit? I didn't. Her iconic transparent bumbershoot, that's an old-fashioned word for umbrellas for those who don't know, enabling crowds to see the monarch even when she's ducked under a waterproof cover, are all fringed with hues that match her outfit. The attention to detail has been pointed out by the Mirror. And I must say, I'd never noticed, but I tipped my brolly mom. My question is, what happens to the used umbrellas? Do they go into a rainbow-organised wet weather vault? Is there a royal collection of crown brollies? Sadly, it's not a habit I'll be able to adopt. It's rather extravagant, but it's surely a quirk fit for a queen.
And may her reign continue.
Oh!
I am here.
Brilliant! Woo! Oh. Anyway, got to wrap this one up quickly.
The whole agenda was worth it just for that moment.
Just for that. I got a final one. Right, here we go. The Journal of Personality and Social Psychology has published findings that not only does left-wing authoritarianism exist, it is a strong predicator of political violence. Authoritarianism is lazily always applied to the conservative side of the political spectrum, but is in fact more common at the other end of the scale. I could have told you that. They found left-wing authoritarianism comes in 3 three main attitudes. Number one, anti-hierarchical, with desire to strip the rich of status and replace the established order by any means necessary. Number two, top-down censorship, which puts the right to not be offended above free speech. And the final one, anti-conventionalism, which views that old-fashioned values must be abolished. We love old-fashioned values. Researchers found massive overlaps between right and left authoritarians, with people showing a high level of cognitive and behavioural similarities. It's quite clear the West increasingly has a big issue with left-wing authoritarianism, which, if left unopposed, I think poses a massive threat to society. But of course, the big issue is that the terms left and right have taken on a faux moral acceptability, with those on the left being seen as good, those on the right being viewed as bad. Perhaps it's time we stripped the terms left and right completely and instead just reclaimed the true meaning of the word liberal. There we are.
Wow.
And breathe.
Wow.
That was a right sort of jog through, wasn't it?